Big gap in the clouds. Very intense storm. It is very powerful still and hitting easternmost Mass and New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. Nova Scotia getting some rain out of this. The clouds will continue to clear out. We're headed for sunshine today. A beautiful afternoon. You know, winter wonderland, whatever you want to call it. I'm not going to label it. It is melting. It's bright. And the wind will be letting up through the course of the day. Gusts still 30, 35 miles an hour. You saw that gentleman raking that roof, and behind him those trees are kind of swaying. So out there, Ashburnham, we haven't seen a whole lot of wind with the front end of the storm at the beginning. We got it a little bit in the middle, and now on the backside, this is a uniform wind gust across all the Commonwealth. So it will be a windy day all around. 37 in Boston now. 40 in Hyannis, 41 in Provincetown. Headed for the mid and possibly some upper 40s here, Norwood and Plymouth too. And about 48 in Hyannis, 42 in Worcester, 46 Bedford, and 44 in Fitchburg. Dylan, over to you.
Just kind of tallying up the numbers and talking about how this storm relates to past October storms. Well, this is certainly one for the record books. Maybe not so much in Boston, but we are looking at just crushed records for October snowfall back through Worcester. The last time we had about an inch of snowfall in Boston in October was back in 2005, the same date, October 29th, 2005. We still are waiting. We just don't have it yet. We're waiting for the official number from Logan Airport. Has yet to come in. It should. I mean, the sun's been out for a while, and the snow's been over for a while, so hopefully we'll get that soon, but not quite sure if we broke the record for October snowfall in Boston just yet. And it doesn't really snow all that much in October. October 14th, 1913. That looks weird, doesn't it? 0.4 inches. And back in that October 10th storm of 1979, that was the record-making storm across most cities in the Northeast. That one in Boston only gave us about 0.2 of an inch. In Worcester, though, that same storm on October 10, 1979 gave us 7.5 inches. That was the standing record for October's snowfall in Worcester. Now that is long gone. This is probably a record we won't beat for quite some time. 11.5 inches nearly in the Worcester area. Back in 62 and 1960, that's when we had our last measurable snow, up to 4.7 in 62 and over 3.5 back in 1960. So yes, this is an interesting storm. Even if it was January or February, just the amounts of snow that we had to receive and the wind gusts, especially along the Cape and Islands, up to around 60 to 65 miles per hour. Close to 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts, but the fact that this is happening in October, that's what makes it so interesting. But it looks like we are almost done with this storm. Still hanging on to the winds, though. Pete has more.
That's right, Dylan. Over to the Halloween forecast now. Let's be forward-thinking here. 6 p.m. Tomorrow. About 47 degrees. Then we drop to about 40 by 8 o'clock, and some of Worcester suburbs will go into the 30s even, so we'll chill out, especially with that snowpack. It will be a cold Halloween all around, but, you know, afternoon high temperatures do get up there into the mid-50s, so that is the saving grace of Halloween. And years past, what, 58 last year and then 70 in 2009. Those were the days. Storm exits this morning. Gusty winds, afternoon melting 39 to 50 degrees, warmest out on Cape Cod and the islands. Clear and cold tonight. Freezing temperatures. Watch out. Any water, standing water, will refreeze with temperatures in the 20s to mid-30s. Downtown, we should be right near freezing or a little bit above. 7-on-7 forecast is great news. More melting. And then we just talk about a plain old warm-up as we go for those temps in the 50s and even low 60s by the time we roll into Thursday. Can you believe it? Yeah, I can. The way this pattern's been, absolutely.
All right, Pete, we'll see you again shortly. Occupy Boston protesters braved the weather. They spent the night, believe it or not, out in Dewey Square.
Well, they believe in their cause. 7's Nicole Oliverio is there live with more on their story this morning. Nicole?
That's right. Well, the good news is the sun is out now, and if you take a look behind me, you can see some of that snow already starting to melt that actually hit here in Dewey Square. You can see the little puddles now that are forming on the tarps, and there is some remnants of snow on some of the tents. But if you take a look at the video overnight, you can see when that snow was coming down, it was that wet, heavy snow that we saw almost all over the state. That's what was landing there on top of the tents. So people really said that they were afraid of what could happen this weekend, even though they refused to leave, saying that they were going to stick it out. A lot of people made sure to buy tarps, make sure that the tarps were large enough so that they went over the tent so that sort of any runoff or any snow wouldn't get inside the tent. But again, with that wet, heavy snow, what they were worried about was either collapsing the tent or in fact having some sort of water runoff. But if you take a live look again here, you can see pretty quiet here. We only saw about 1 or 2 people stirring. Again, just a little bit of snow left here. When we talked to the people and asked them about this weather, what they thought, how long they...
And the critical acclaim.